Jim Terry, and I am the chairman of the Whitford Charitable Fund and the Whitford Golf and Tennis Classic. I have been a member of Whitford since 1987, and I serve on the board of directors there. And on behalf of the board and the entire membership at Whitford, we are absolutely honored and proud to be here. We have done a lot over the last 5 years in giving something back to the residents of Chester County with our Whitford Charitable Fund. But I want to take you back 60 years ago. In 1955, when somebody gave something back to a community called the Whitford Village. And there was a gentleman by the name of Tim Osenthal, and Tim donated 168 acres to the community. And that 168 acres, part of that is where Whitford Country Club is today. And that's where it all started, in giving something back 60 years ago. After that, in 1956, the first 9 holes were completed. In 57, the second 9. And a gentleman by the name of Larry Polite. Some of you may not know his name, and Larry has since passed. But I guarantee you, if you go down to what they call the old crossroads in Exton, you know a place called the Guernsey Cow. And the Guernsey Cow, if you remember, had that big cow on its roof, and boy, you got some really good ice cream there. But Larry was an innovator. Larry was one of those visionaries at our club. And Larry was the ones that started it, and really he was a very charitable man and very gracious gentleman. And he got it going at Whitford in the infancy when the club was first started. In 1970, we had 2 other individuals that came to us as visionaries. One was Harry Hammond. He was our golf professional at the time. And the other gentleman was Ethan Weiss, and Ethan was the president of Westlake Plastics. And together they brought a Pro-Am to Whitford. And that Pro-Am was there for 39 years. And in 39 years, they would give away $25,000 to $30,000 to a local charity. And in 2009, the Pro-Am moved to another club. And at that time, Whitford had to make a decision as to what to do. And just like back with Harry and back with Ethan and back with Larry Polite, as being true visionaries, we had to look for another one. And we had somebody that stepped up to that, and that is Bruce Hockman. Bruce Hockman, I'll never forget this, after a Sunday playing golf, he invited 5 or 6 of us up to a part of the club and offered to buy us a few drinks, and whenever Bruce is buying, we'll listen and have a few drinks with him. But he started talking about putting together another golf tournament. And it would be a little bit different than what the Pro-Am was. But I want to bring Bruce up here, and I want him to tell you about how excited we are at Whitford, because we have given away a lot of money, and we have learned so much about the different organizations here in Chester County. I mean, you look at your little town. I'm from Downingtown, and I look at my senior center and the library and those type of things, but when you start looking at all the different organizations throughout the county, I am absolutely amazed and impressed with what everybody does to make this place such a great place to live. So I would like to introduce to you a true visionary of Whitford Country Club to kind of tell you a little bit about the exciting times and what we did and how we raised it and what we're going to do in the future. Mr. Bruce Hockman, my great friend. Bruce.
It's really easy when we get together and talk about this program because I'm so tall and full of hair, and Jim kind of hangs around. But he does drink a lot, and that helps the conversations. Let me take care of 5 years of fun in just a few minutes because you've got a wonderful program to get through. But 5 years ago was an important time. Jim was on the board, I was on the board of the club, and this facility that had been there for some time and was centered around a professional Pro-Am golf tournament decided to move to another facility. It would have been very, very easy for us to say, well, let's just move on, have another free weekend for the members, and just forget about the hard work and energy that goes into an event like that. But that seemed like a terrible waste of time. So the whole focus of the discussion changed. And it was a Sunday afternoon. It is incredible if you need to get good thinking people together and gather around an idea, start with adult beverage. It is magical. But the whole logic was to move away from a concept of let's get a bunch of golf professionals together and have a golf tournament, to let's get together as members of Whitford Country Club. And we're going to play golf, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to do all the things we normally do. But the focal point is to raise monies for Chester County organizations And I love the comment that Karen raised about where we live and work. And at Whitford, we added a little bit to it, where we raise our family and where we play. But the whole focus was Chester County. And then we had a problem. I'm in the insurance and reinsurance business, and Jim does what he does, and we had a bunch of professionals sitting around a table, and then we said, well, how do we do this philanthropy stuff? And we had no idea. We knew we had to pick some organizations, so we did it very, very scientifically. Ed Hart from State Farm was there and said, Ed, do you know anybody? He said, well, yeah, my wife and I, Sarah, do work with Safe Harbor. Fine, that was organization one. And Bob and Gwen Gore said, well, we're really into the SPCA because they've done a great job with our dogs, too. Darrell Tuna came up and said, well, the Heroes Fund really does special work for those first responders and the like that unfortunately lose their life in their operations. That was three. Bill Kane came up and talked about maternal, child, and health, 4. So we ended up with 6 organizations. We said, that's great. Now, how much money are we going to give? Didn't have a clue. $35,000 sounded like a right number because with 7 people, $5,000 each, how wrong could we get it? Well, we ended up donating $60,000 that first year. And then we started to really feel something because people in the club said, this is really pretty neat. And a really special day came when a group of our swimmers, and we've got a great swimming team down there. I think we're champions for the last 5 years, but we don't brag about that. They came together and said, how about if we swim laps and get contributions for the swimming of laps? And terrific. And 2 little gals came to us and said, we made these beaded bracelets and we sold them at the meet last year, and here's $155. And we knew we were getting someplace. So 5 years later, here's a situation. After this year, we finished our event on September 8th, 9th, and 10th. We will have donated $564,000 to 21 Chester County organizations. That's pretty neat, but here's the neat part. We now have tennis people coming to us and say, how can we get engaged? We have other organizations calling us and saying, how can we get involved? Here's the problem. We now have 45 and 50 grant applications coming to us every year, and we don't have any idea how to say no. Thankfully, the foundation is there, and they're just incredible people. We came to them very, very early because, again, we didn't have any idea how to do any of this stuff. We weren't going to do a 501c3, and the foundation stepped up. Beth Briglia and Lisa Solonsky at that point in time, and all of the gals, Haley and Stephanie. I mean, they're just phenomenal. They allow us to do what we do, have fun, extend ourselves into the membership, get to know the people in Chester County who do such tremendous work for people who are so less fortunate than we. That's what we're all about. How long is it going to last? I don't know. We didn't think we were going to get past $35,000. But we still have a golf tournament. We've got a great gala on Friday night with an auction, and if you want to see a party, the tickets are cheap, and the adult beverage is fine. And 75% of that, after we get it all donated from our vendors and things, goes back into the fund. And it all stays in Chester County. Thank you for all of the work that you do in support, and come to Whitford Country Club. It's a good group of people. Thank you very much.